Good evening to all. I am Dr. Kumaraguru, working as a conservation scientist on behalf of BCF, NGO based at Tamil Nadu in India, with the vision is visualizing society for promoting and assisting healthy coexistence of human and wildlife and ultimately ensuring conservation of biodiversity. So, strategic implementation of this session draws us to handle research and reaching stakeholders in synchronized manner. Our research includes from ants to elephants, and exploring effective management practices in the perspective of biodiversity conservation. With our wide research expertise team, we are able to work from Nagapattinam to Valley of Flower Himalayas, stretching across different landscapes and different people and very dependency on the ecosystem. In nutshell, we connect nature with people, people with nature. So let's get connected today also in the virtual platform to existence and experience nature in enhanced dimension. Thank you all. Thank you for joining today BCF International Webinar.
Thank the Biodiversity Conservation Foundation of India and also Dr. Kumaraguru for having invited me to deliver the webinar talk on the behavior and conservation of the moorhen. And actually what made me to just give a lecture on the behavior or the ecology and conservation of the common moorhen. Actually, after my retirement in 2002, I was just living in the Kolattur area in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, where we have a number of wetlands are there. We have a number of ponds, so adjoining to my house also. So this made me some interest to study on the wetland birds. Of all these birds, the common moorhen attracted me because it is very, very easy access for me to take to study the behavioral aspects, and also to take the record all the videos, whatever the activities or whatever the behavioral aspects of this moorhen, and very easily. That's what today I'm going to present this topic on the moorhen. Now, actually, I know that the BCF, so don't think that I'm going to present only on the research aspects. Actually, I'm very much interested on the like a popular lecture, because I know that the webinar participant invited by the Biodiversity Conservation Foundation, there may be college or the school students, there may be research scholars, there may be school and college teachers, the scientists, there may be engineers and technocrats, doctors, lawyers, the wildlife photographer, journalists, nature wildlife lovers, the NGOs, and general public. So this, because of this, I would like to present this webinar topic as a general talk, as a popular talk, so that everybody will understand. My idea is, because the awareness is very, very important. If today I give awareness on the common moorhen, their behavior and the conservation aspect, what are the different conservation problems we are facing, that each one of us just go to their area and start working with the moorhen or other wetland, that is the biggest achievement for conservation. Suppose if everybody goes, those who attended, and you go and participate, you join, you act as a leadership program, that means you are going to more and more take photograph, videography, and also you know the status of the animal. That is what I want, the practical conservation strategy. Okay, that is why I want to give a popular lecture, so that everybody will understand, so that I will create an interest to study on these birds. Now, if you talk about the common moorhen, what is the status and distribution? It's a resident, local, and it's a very common, widely distributed all over India. And with regard to the status, whether it's an endangered animal or extinct animal, you know, we are critically endangered. Now, what is the status? It's a least concern. That means the populations are good right now. What is the lifespan of this bird? It is 5 to 6 years. Okay. Now, coming to the habitat. When you want to study any animal, for your information, first study about habitat. If you want to know about me, first study about my home atmosphere or the house. What is the structure of the house? Whether it is where I am living, in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, or there will be other facilities are there. So first study the habitat surrounding your house. So when you want to study an animal, first know about its living condition. That is, we say it's a habitat. Usually, the common moorhen prefers in the wetlands, such as the swamps, marshes, lakes, ponds, tanks, ditches, and also with dense emergent vegetation. This is called emergent vegetation, like your typha grass, like your iconia. These are called emergent. And also we have the interspersed with the open water. Not only vegetation, there should be some open water. Now, Now look at and again, like habitat, one must study in detail the salient feature. What are the physical features of a bird or an animal for that information? If all you are a naturalist or a bird lover, if you are interested in study on the bird, kindly please first study about the habitat and then about the animal, thorough with the animal, all the character. See, this is what I took with my camera after my retirement in 2010 to 15. So now we study the beautiful bird. It's a beautiful bird, one being. And you might have seen that you have ignored all these days. If you are not from, maybe after this COVID, you go to any wetland and try to see this bird, beautiful bird. Now, first, what is the body nature? It's a blackish brown, upper parts like this, the gray-black below. And if you look at the eye, it is a reddish in color like this. And look at the head and neck. You look at the head and neck also, you have the color of the black. The very distinct feature of this common Moorhen is the presence of the red frontal plate. This is called the red frontal plate. Okay. Now, this is called the shield. It's on the forehead. And also, if you look at the bill, it's a yellow-tipped bill. So, yellow-tipped bill, you have the frontal shield, and you can see the eye color, and you can also color the body part. This is what I require. Every one of you must study in detail, at least the salient feature or the important physical features of any animal. Now, look at these legs. The legs will be bright yellow to green, and you have a red band in the adults only, not in the other groups, younger groups. So you have a red band here at top of the leg, like this. You have it like this, and you have a large feet. If you look at this, and also long toes. Look at the long toes, large feet. And what is the functional morphology? So always in zoology, we talk about the function and morphology are two inseparable factors. And we also talk about structure, function, and environment, or the triangle of your life, identity of life. So what you will have that, if because of this adaptation, because of this morphological feature of this leg, they can, like this, they can walk on the floating vegetation in the wetland. So this is the adaptive feature for this bird. And they're also very good swimmers. The moorhen is a very good swimmer. Now you look at the other characteristic feature of this bird. If you look at the flanks, we say this is the flanks. This is called the flank area. This flank area is edged with white. You can see very well. It's edged with the white. And the wings are entirely dark in color. These wings are entirely dark in color. If you look at the feathers underneath, tail white, look at this tail white. And the tail is very short, like this. It is upturned. You look at this, it's upturned. So look at the flanks, look at the wings, look at the other tail details, how it's upward turned. Now, but one thing is, if you look at the male and female, you cannot distinguish. Very, very difficult. Both are very similar in appearance. See, this is the male and female. You cannot identify which is the male and female. So they are both are identical externally if you look at them. Okay. What is the habits of this animal? They live in solitarily or single. Solitary means they may also live the life alone, and they live in pairs or in groups like this. See, they may also live in a group. They may be solitary, or they may be in a pair, or more than a pair. They may also live in groups, like the social structure of the birds. This is the social structure. Okay. Now coming to the feeding behavior of this bird. They are omnivorous. Feeding along the open waters like this, they will feed on the open waters. They feed on the algae, moss, seeds, grasses, rootlets, flowers, and leaf of Iconia. Why I want to emphasize the Iconia? You know, the wetland, they want to remove the Iconia plant, thinking that it is an invasive species or unwanted species for the wetland. But for your information, as far as I am concerned, I never use the adjectives bad or good or ugly. So it may be bad for me, it may be good for me, or some people say ugly. No. So if you look at this Iconia, I think some sound is coming from.
Yeah, I request Yamini Gangu, kindly you can mute. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So actually, look at this. This is what they're going to feed on these flowers. Now, you have to study the economical importance of all the invasive species, whether it is your Iconia or the Prosopis julifera or your lantana. That's what I insist that. Simply say it's an invasive. No, you study on that. What are the number of animals? Depending on that, what is the economical role? The pros and cons of any invasive species, one has to be studied in length, discuss pros and cons, then estimate the economic value, assess the economic value of a particular invasive species or invasive species. Then only we can come to a conclusion whether it's an invasive species, whether you want to remove it entirely or you have to control the whatever you unwanted species, whatever you term. Okay. Now they also eat on the gastropod shells. This is called the gastropod snails. We say the molluscan forms. They also eat on these insects. They also eat on insects like the snails I told you, mollusks, and they also eat on the small fishes and the frog. This is the feeding behavior, or in ethology we say foraging behavior. The foraging behavior means the feeding habit, the feeding behavior of the animal is known as the foraging behavior. They will go and forage on these food items. Okay. Now that's what I told you. I took a picture. Somebody used to whether I have recorded. Yes, I took a picture in January, actually in February 1, 2015 at 7:20 a.m. feeding flowers of the Iconia species. So they just feed on the Iconia. Now, one more thing I request all the, whatever you are interested in the bird studies or you want to field studies or the naturalist, kindly with your camera, record your date and time. That will speak. You can strong very evidently, very authentically that I have recorded this, the eating of the Iconia on such and such date, time also there. That is what I require from all the naturalists or researcher, whoever it may be, kindly record your date and time when your field studies. Now, already told you there are very good swimmers in spite of lacking the webs. See, you know that when there's a web, adaptive feature of the all the swimming birds are the web. So here there is no need of web. In spite of that, they are very good swimmers. Now they can also fly very well. Okay. Now resting. So during after the morning hour, they will be very active. All the birds, like all the birds, the behavior of the birds is that morning hour they will be very. When after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, they take resting in position. So they go and take the rest in the bushes. This is the typha grass. They will go and take rest under the shade of the typha grass like this. Now, other important behavior of this common moorhen is the preening. So why they have to preen? Preening means the removal of the ectoparasite. There may be bird louse like our head louse. Because we go on remove the head louse, there will be bird louse of the different varieties. They have to keep very hygienically. That is the importance of the bird behavior. They are mostly very hygienic. They go on preen. They do like this and they remove all the ectoparasite on their body. That is called the preening behavior. Now, look at the voice. It is a loud, explosive kurk call. Usually sometimes silent, but occasionally if you see that very explosive sound, kurk, kark, and cook, or you say that alarm call, cook, like that, and soft cook in the territorial call. When they have the territorial behavior, they will say soft cook, like that. Okay. Now they form a strong pair of birds. The bonding is very strong. They're all monogamy. That means one male and one female. During the breeding season, what happened? They form a strong bonds with the other mate, like monogamy, one male, always with the one female only. The other example, you know, that polygamy. There may be one male with more than one female, or maybe they have one female with more than one male. Here it is only monogamy, one male with one female. Now, what is the territorial breeding? During the breeding, they maintain a territorial behavior. This is called territorial behavior or territorial conflict. Suppose it is the territory of the pair, they won't allow the other birds to come and interfere. They never enter into that. This is the premises for them. This is the compound wall. So they have a territory, and this is the conflict, how they fight each other. So this is called a territorial conflict in the common moorhen. Now, see, look at this. How they just behave on that. The entire will come and fight with the other fellows, not to interfere their breeding area or their territory. Now, what is the breeding season? What happened? The male courts by panning his tail. This is called display behavior. All the birds, for example, for information, they will just show the display. What is the biological significance of this fanning of his tail? Why the male has to fan during the breeding season? In order to attract the female, that show me the physical strength. So this is what the behavior of the common moorhen. They're fanning his tail. That means it is called the display behavior, so that the female is attracted. Now, during the courtship, see, they do like this. Each one just rub each other. These are the various stages during the courtship. Now, after that, they will do like this. And then again, what is this? The mounting. So after this, during the courtship, this is the behavior of the moorhen is the mounting. This is the way they mount on the female. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk on the nesting behavior of the common moorhen. It's a very, very interesting. If you look at the common moorhen behavior, I'm sure that some of you might have already cited the common moorhen, and also somebody might also study about the nesting behavior, or maybe you have taken some photographs. Now, actually, in this wetland, this is a pond which I have taken in Chennai, in Kolattur area, near my house. So this is what the nest area. You can see this from here. They will just swim or walk on the vegetation and come to this. This is a grass species. And some of you know that this is a tall grass. This is called taifa grass. In Tamil, it is a nanal. So they will collect the nest material from here and they construct the nest. Now, this is what I show, enlarged one. Taifa grass. So look at the intelligence of this bird. They are not choosing this fresh or the green ones. They are all selecting the dried taifa grass or the grass blades. You can see, able to see this dried one. They will cut from the bottom, maybe 2 meters long. The length of this grass up to 2 meters. So the 2 meters length, they will cut at the base and hold it in the beak. Then what happens? Now, if you look at this, very interesting. See how intelligent they are. See, I'm amazed if you look at this behavior of this animal. You can learn a lot of things from them. I learned a lot of things from the animal behavior. Now, here is your nesting material, taifa grass, emergent plant, and just cut the dried grass blade and carry it big, and there's a water here. See, it will become wet. See, they're carrying the 2 meter or 1 meter length of the grass like this, and it should not become wet. Without just putting into the water, they will carry it very carefully, and coming to here, they have again the nesting is here. They bring it to here on the Iconia plant. Okay, so nesting material collection like this. See how they walk on the Iconia plant. They go to the nesting area like this. Now this is what nest area. They brought this here on the Iconia plant. They constructed the nest. These nests are called floating nest. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Now usually they construct 15 to 30 centimeters above the water line in the wetland of the pond area. They will also construct a nest on the floating plant like water hyacinth or your Iconia species, and they will construct a cup-shaped nest. They are made of twigs lined with leaves and also piling up the aquatic plant like a mound. Now see, this is what. See, on the Iconia, water hyacinth, they construct a cup-shaped nest like this. Okay, like this. Now, nest construction. In the nest construction, both male and female involves. This is called the involvement of some constructions only male. Suppose you look at the weaver bird. What happened? Only the male involves in the construction of the nest. Only female comes and inspects. Okay, if the nest is not good, they will reject it. No, you want construct, I want new one. You construct one more. Here, not like that. It is both the male and female involved in the nest construction like this. Now see that this is one dried one. And I would like to tell you that one information. Why they have to say only dried? How many of you checked this typha grass? Unfortunately, that I missed that slide. Where what I did is I just collected from the field the dried typha grass, cut it to pieces, and I took a bucket of water and I just placed them, dropped these cut the pieces of this typha grass and water. It is not going inside, actually floating. So what is the characteristic feature of this typha grass is that dried grass is that it got a floating nature. So don't you think that the common moorhen is very, very intelligent in choosing a dried typha grass in spite of there are various vegetation in that area? And then I was just thinking why it has dried grass. Then when I go into the literature, then I found out that the typha grass is got a floating nature. So how to confirm this? That's what I went to when I went for the field work. I collected this typha grass, dried grass, and then I tried. Really, it float. That is why our moorhen chooses the dried typha grass plant. Okay, so this is what I told you: cup-shaped nest. Not only on the water hyacinth, they also on the water. So they will also just construct a nest like this floating nest. And whatever you have, see the typha grass, they have bent this in order to have a support with this floating nest in order to avoid any damage, or sometimes they may some the rise in the level of the water to avoid any the nest damage. They will just have a fixing anchor like thing with this live plant. And you can also see this here. Bring this dried fish, and also they will have the typha grass. This is called the floating nest. You can see the egg. So this is called the floating nest. Okay. Now, usually female lays some 5 to 12 eggs. And what I observed in my field observation is that not more than 5 eggs, sometimes 3, mostly 3, sometimes 2. And you can see the creamy white in color, and they have the some spot, brownish to black spots like this. Now, both parents in the incubation, very important. Not only in the nest construction, both male and parent involved in the incubation of the eggs. This is called the parental investment. How much of time they invest. In our human, we just spends time in rearing the baby. What is the parental? Whether the mother invests more time or the father invests more time, and what is the investment of the time? This is called parental investment. Whether only one parent involves in some of the animals, only one parent involves in the rearing of the young one. So here both parents are there. So in the incubation, okay. Now incubation generally takes 22 days. After laying the eggs, it generally takes 20 days. See how you can see the beautiful bird, how they incubating. So I'm very fortunate to have a closer views, the digitalized photographs with my just ordinary camera. If you're really naturalist, all I request the students, school or college student, kindly please have some camera, ordinary camera. You go to the field and take photograph and transfer the computer, then we can enjoy like this. And this I took in 2017 at 7:30 to 7:40 a.m. in Kolattur area. Okay, see now they are incubating. You can see the red eyes, how very, very cautious. This is called the vigilant behavior. When the incubating individual, whether male or female, they'll be very vigilant because they're looking at the predators. The predators may come and attack. They want to predate on the eggs of that. So they're very, very vigilant. This is called, we also talk about vigilant behavior of this moorhen. Now you see how vigilant they are. Now this is just to show you how they are vigilant in the different angles. And now you see that how they just keep warmth for this eggs during the incubation. Okay, now one more interesting thing is that already I told you there is a parental investment, both male and female investments are there with regard to the incubation. And one interesting thing I observed is that there is a turn system. Not only male, all these one day fully 24 hours they're incubating. See, this is called shift system or a turn system. So the male incubates for 1 hour, 60 minutes, and after 60 minutes, it comes out, and the female relieves the male, and it goes like this. See, this is what because I cannot identify whether it's a male or female, but you can see the turn shift. Oh, I'm right, you accept it. So this is the nesting, this is the egg is there, incubation, and when you record the time also, see without clock, how they know the timing? Exactly 60 minutes mixing. When you want to share, suppose we have a shift system, some deal is there, and maybe my partner is saying that you have 1 hour you come, and another hour you have to look after. I think even we have watch other thing, I think we won't maintain the time. He may come up after 1.5 hours, like 90 minutes, or even 2 hours, he may not turn up. And now we see this, the perfection, how disciplined these birds are. This is what I learned from this bird. Don't I agree that we learn a lot of behaviors from this bird? You may think it's only common moorhen. It's an animal. No, I'm very sorry that I have learned for your information. This is the shift system, the turn system, how they maintain the timing. So this has got a very good understanding of the parent, the both male and female, during the incubation of the eggs. Yeah, now you see that again, you see the shift. So just see that one fellow goes, and another fellow enters into the nest. Now they see that's how they sit on the egg for incubation of the turd. They come and very carefully come and incubate. Now this is called a hatch. After 22 days, the chick hatches from the egg. Okay. Now we see that 1, 2. Not all the time, all the 3, 4 eggs will come. Maybe the first day it will come 1 chick, the second day and third day like this. So now we see that just hatched. Now you see that just hatched young ones, chicks. I'll show you later. See the difference of the chicks from the adults. Now, one interesting thing, I don't know how many of, if you're somebody else interested in the common moorhen, kindly please observe this behavior. What is this? Hatch discarded eggshell removal. Once the egg is hatched, the chick will come out, then there will be empty shell in that. I was amazed. See, I took photographs of this, and in November on 12, 2017 at 7:25 a.m., I'm really amazed to observe this behavior of this removal of the eggshell. Why should they remove the eggshell from the nest? Okay, now this one. So one of the parents picked the aged, discarded eggshell with the bill from the nest. So from the nest it collected a previous slide, and it is moving out. Then it is carried like this from the nest side to the open water like this, carried away some 6 feet away from the nest side. Then in this, the another parent, maybe male or female, say both joined. One is carrying this eggshell, and now looking at that. Now what they did is, bit by bit, they're just feeding on this eggshell, and after the remains, after eating, some of the remains, they will just dipping into the water. And first, I don't know that why it has to remove the eggshell. Again, what I did is I went for the literature search in the web. I browsed. I was very fortunate to learn, to just get some information with regard to the removal of the eggshell by the birds, and why they have to eat the eggshell. In order to obtain the calcium from them, the birds eat the eggshell. If you look at the hen behavior also in the neighborhood, they will also eat on the eggshell. Even if you look at the crow behavior or the nesting crow behavior, they also I have also observed the crows eating on the eggshells, so they get some calcium. And the other thing is that why they should remove the eggshell after hatching, it may be due to maintain a cleanliness and hygiene of the nest. If there is a unhygienic condition, it may attract the predators. Like one more thing is the nest is on the floating nest, which is floating. So in the wetland, there are other predators like these snakes are there, mongoose is there, turtles are there, crows are there. Okay. So these predators go and attack the chicks. The chicks may be killed. In order to avoid this, they will remove the hatched eggshell or the empty eggshell, and to maintain the hygiene, this may be the reason. Again, the parental incubation, shift system, turn system, remove the eggshell. So really, we have to accept how intelligent they are, how they are very cautious, how they take in the parental care. This is called excellent parental behavior of the birds. Now, once they come to nest, for the young ones, for laying the eggs, incubated small chicks, as when and then the chicks, I will show you later, as and when the chicks grows, it cannot withstand the old nest. So what they will do, they expand the platform. This is called the brood nest. In order to hold the weight of the chicks, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5. For that, they expand the nest. This is called the expansion of the nest platform like this. Okay, look at these chicks. So after incubation, yes, the egg is hatched out, the chick is hatched out from this. Now you see the entirely different structural features. Look at this young one. It is, you know that it is entirely different. It differs from the adult. The chicks are colored black like this. These have a reddish head like this, and red bills. Here you look at the red bill. Skin at the base of the bill bright red. You can see the bright red. White tip curly hair on the chin and throat. If you look at the chin and throat, you have this white structure like this. Now, they have the downy feathers. Look at the feathers are very soft. That is called downy. Most of the birds, what happens? They have the downy feather. That means soft hairs or soft feathers, except around the eye and the bill. These are not soft. If you look at here, to touch these, very soft. But I never touch this.
What is the name of the
You should not just disturb the animal. When I told these are the character feature of this young one, the chick. Now look at this. So I had very fortunate to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chick, 6. How they see the behavior of the chicks, how they follow the adult. They are not distracted. They are not go away. Just they follow their parents. That is one behavior we learn from the animals. They just follow it. Just blindly they follow the parent. Whatever they give instruction, they will just hear. They have the communication capacity. Whatever the parents communicate, they listen and they follow this. This is the parental care. Now, both parents take in the carrying the young ones like this. See how they feed. This is the both parents, male and female, how they come to the nest and they feed it in the early days. Now here, parenting is performed by both male and female. This is called biparental care. This is called, excuse me. This is called biparental care. You see that the parent brings the fish. This is the fish. So when they are young, when their chicks are there, they will be the adults want feed with only the protein-rich animal food, because animal provided more of protein. If you see the feeding behavior, when you want to feed the chicks, not only this bird, almost all the birds during the early stages for the chicks, they will choose only the animal protein. They are rich in protein, so that they feed them with the animal material. This is called biparental care. Okay, now like this. Not only this, in order to protect these birds, when there is any predator, all those things, they will just hide these young ones like this under the wings of that. Not only other thing is that warmth. So it always keep the warmth for these young ones soon after the birth. See now, one interesting that there are precoxial. That means these birds are, when they hatch out, they have got some of the developed structures so that they can come out soon after, maybe 2 to 3 days, they come out from the nest. They can also feed like this. They can also swim like this. So before that, I take you precoccygeal means the young one is just hatch out with the eye open, and in some other things, in other birds, some of the birds, they want to open the eye, so the mother will go to the nest, they will feed for 20 days, even for the core behavior, to study that, it will go and just feed on that. One more thing is that not only adults, parents, if there is any juvenile, this is called helper or the previous brood. This also belongs to the same parent, and what happened that they will help or assist the chicks in carrying the one, in feeding them. This is called, in addition to the parent, there are some helpers out there, some juveniles out there. Look at this. See, the chicks also different from the parent, male and female, adult male and female. The juvenile structures also different from the male and female, adult male and female. Now, here you see the social group, juvenile, the chick and adult. Look at this. You have adult, there is you have the juvenile, you have the chick. This is the social behavior of this common moorhen. Now, the young ones, already told you precoccygeal means that swim soon after hatching, and they spend most of the time swimming with their parents. The young one will just also swim with the parents, but keeping close to the concealing cover, very, very important, because they cannot escape very immediately from the predators. So very close to vegetation they'll be there, so that they don't hide in the nest or in the vegetation cover, in the protecting cover. Okay. Now look at the chick structure. I want to just say, already told you, structure and function are two inseparable when you talk about any animal for that matter. So you see the structure of this leg. Chicks got enormous feet compared to small body size. What is the functional aspect of this? It allows them to follow the adults by walking on the dense aquatic plant mats or the plant material. That is the adaptive feature of the long leg. So this is what you have to see. Each and every structure you have to study. After studying that, why it has to be there? Why? What is the length? What is the size? Why it is there? What is the adaptive feature? What is the purpose of that leg? So you must go on and ask why it has to be there. Color, why the color is there? What is the structure? Why it should be there? Small body size is there, but length is there. What is the nature of that? What is the functional morphology? This is called functional morphology of the leg. Okay, now that's what I want to tell you that. Look at the chick, it will be like this. Juvenile is different, and you have the subadult or whatever it may be, it's also different like from the adult. So chick, already told you, there will be red color. If you look at the beak here, it will be red color. In 30 days, if you retain it, after 30 days, it slowly disappears like this. I'll show you a large one also. So you can see the beak. So you agree that this red color, it will disappear. So you also record when from the hatching, when it hatched, record the time and date. Of course, if you have a camera, you have a digitalized photograph. That's what I tell the purpose of the date and time. You record the date and time very carefully in your field observation or in the field diary. When it hatched out and 30 days it retains the red color, then again in 30 days the color disappeared and it retained the colorless beak with 30 days. That means 30, 60 days. In again maybe it depends. In 50 days, red appears. So chick beak, red color 30 days, red disappear in 30 days, total in 60 days, maybe it varies 50 to 60 days. So red color disappear. So totally 60, again it disappeared. In 50 days, again, so 30 plus 30, 60 plus 50, sorry, 110 days. Totally, in 110 days, the red frontal sheet appears. So first, there will be red color, disappeared after 30 days, totally 60 days, and in 50 days, it appears. That means 30, 30, 60 plus 50, in 110 days, the red appears. Now you see the enlarged one. So this is going to see the subadult. So you can see the beautiful This is called the frontal plate, red in color. These are the subadult. And you can also see the, now, during the subadult stage, just the red ring already told you, there is a distinct red ring in the adults, whereas in the subadult, just it started. You can see the marking. So like very, very slight red color of the, on the upper side of the leg, a red ring is there. Okay. Now, so far we have studied about the, what is the habitat, where it lives, and then we have studied about the structural features of the adult, the chick, your juvenile, and subadult. And we also studied how the structural changes take place, the coloring pattern, all changes. And this is what I want to tell you, that you must study in detail. And most of them think that I showed you the previous slide, I will show you. No, when I told that, they said that outside the breeding season, they lack the reddish frontal shield or that. No, this is actually they conflict. This is all juveniles. So this is all the juvenile. Some people just say that it is during the non-breeding season, they lose the red color. No, not like that. So this is called the juvenile stage. Okay. Now we have seen about the different features. We also seen the nesting behavior. How interesting, we have studied about the nesting behavior, how it constructs the floating nest. And one more thing I want to tell you, that why it has chosen the typha grass. In Tamil it's called nanal. So what is the typha grass feature? That not only floating, but it can also, you can, the nest, for example, you can twist in any way. You can just turn in any way. You can take this nest material and then just they can turn for the floating nest construction. That is the characteristic feature of the typha. That is why they prefer the typha grass. So next aspect is we are going to talk on the threats, conservation problems. So what are the different problems faced by these birds nowadays? This is what we say, that the problems are threats because conservation problems. Okay. So the chicks are created by this mongoose. You can also cite the mongoose in the wetlands or the pond area like this. So again in 2010, at morning hours, I just photographed this mongoose in my wetland. Now the cats also again the problem for the nesting moorhen. And now the turtle. See this freshwater turtle, again just they will also predate on the nests of the common moorhen. Now you believe that there is another bird called purple moorhen. You might have seen the purple moorhen. This bird, this purple moorhen feeds on the chicks of the, like this. See, one day I just I took the photograph. I don't know something it is eating on that, feeding on that. When I transfer to my computer, when again checking, rechecking that, then it's carrying that. And then again I never believed that. Then I searched the literature for that in order to support my field observation. Then they have recorded that purple moorhen hunts on the nests of the other bird or the chicks of the other bird. Now these are only once I have just recorded the feeding on the chicks of not only purple moorhen, the common moorhen, they also predator on the water hen, also white-breasted water hen chicks also they predate. So purple hen also, these are all one of the predator for the common moorhen chicks. Now like this they are feeding on the chicks. Okay. Now again the biggest problem is the crow, because most of the people think that we don't want to talk on the or behavior of the crow. See, for information, kindly if you are interested in nature or the birds, or if you're interested in the ornithology, or you're a wildlifer or a field worker, kindly study the behavior of the crow. You may think, no, the crow is very, very intelligent. It plays a very good role in the ecosystem. So this is the nest predation. The crow also predate on the nest. See how the brood nest, when they have a construct nest, the evening hour, say you can see in the morning and evening hour, the crows will come, just they predate for the eggs of this, or sometimes even chicks. So usually they predate on the eggs of it. So after from this brood nest, they brought nest material dropped on the brack. So the crow will just like that, they bring the nest material and the damage for the bird nest. So the crows involved in them because they will go for in search of is there any eggs are there. So in order to predate on this, they go and damage the nest like this. Now, I could not show you the video of it. So what one day I have seen recorded morning hour nest predate by crow. See here the nest is there. How they predate on the nest? The crow comes and predate on that, and sometimes the moorhen comes and charges this crow. They will just go like this. Now we have the animals are there. We have the human population. There is an increased population pressure. This is called anthropogenic pressures. So demand for the housing. When you have a more population, okay, fine. But what happened? The people require, the man requires the living place. So there will be demand for housing. When you have a housing demand, we have to encroach the settlement for settlement like this. So not only that, we also just dump solid waste. They like in the wetland. This is in the Kolathur area where I have studied on the common moorhen. On the other side of the coin is that we just dump on that. So usually, whenever we see the wetland or any water area, people think it's a wasteland. Whenever you see pond or water, so these are the residents, they bring all the waste and they dump here. So we say that, is it a wetland or a wasteland? Because most of us think that it's a wasteland, that's why we dump solid waste like this. Now, not only that, I have seen long back, not now, early, the corporation, sewage, lorry comes, collects elsewhere, and dumps in this wetland. Now all these activities are stopped, fortunately. Now you see this scenario of this. All the effluents from the neighborhood, from all the houses, dumped into this is called Paravallur area in the Kolathur. This is different from that pond. You can see the scenario of this. Now, from the residential area, whenever you have a huge apartments, they dump all the sewage, whatever the waste water, let into the wetland. Now this also sealed and closed. Now most of the wetlands are protected, and some of them. Now, this is the biggest. I told you human pressure for a living. So they come to the urban areas. This is in the Chennai Kolathur area. We have the bypass, the highways road from Coimbatore to Tirupati or Calcutta or Vijayawada to just pass by the highways. This is called the Kolathur area, where we have the Rettieri area, or you have the TVS area. This is one of the best wetland. When I took in 2010, slowly the construction has started. Now you see that. You see the previous one. This is the area of the wetland. The constructions are going on. In 2014, you see that the pressure for this wetland. So encroachment is there. The taifa grass is going on. The birds also disappearing. Now, this is called Haridas Pond. See, I want to show that this is the scenario of the now for the before that. Okay. Earlier, we have the lotus plants like this. You can see beautiful flowers. Where I show you studying on the common moorhen, it is called Tamarai Kolam in Tamil. Earlier, they used to fetch the drinking water from these wetlands. Now it is different scenario. Okay. Now, because the other conservation point is that in the name of restoration, in the Kolathur area, where I am living in the Haridas street, of course, very good. So they want to reclamation. They want to restore the wetlands. For that, they will just desilting it, dredging. See how they dredge. That means they remove all the vegetation. Not only that, they also do the other fauna, eggs of the eggs of all the fishes, other things. All the resources are removed, natural resources. Now, this is called restoration of the ecology, restoration ecology or ecological restoration. Sorry. So ecological restoration, or you say restoration ecology. So I showed you earlier with the lotus plant and showed some Iconia typha grass. Now see the scenario of that. Bridge, remove that, the big, very big pond. So restoration ecology just slowly removed on this plant. Okay, now we are very happy that they're taking the restoration project, and you see that all cleared. So when they're going to come up, when the winter is going to come up, when the birds are going to come up, so all these birds are moved somewhere else. So now what is the place for the birds? Inquired about the PW, other corporate people, other the NGO, so involved in the restoration policy. What is that the government policy is that the primary priority is that the water, provision of the water, the potable water is the first priority for the government. Okay, we do accept that. So water is very, very essential. We know that in Chennai, water is scarcity we faced last year. Unfortunately, this year we are not faced that much because of maybe because of the COVID, maybe other reasons. So now we had an acute water scarcity. For that, this the pond is very, very, very good for discharging or raising the water table for us. So I live just next street nearby that pond. But good, restoration is good. But as a naturalist, as an ornithologist, as a bird lover, as a wildlife enthusiast, we must also see the other aspect, positive and negative aspect of the restoration ecology. The other problem is during festivals. For example, Diwali, Deepavali, they just put the crackers, disturb the birds in the. This is the wetland, this is the pond. On the banks, the people are living. Even Delhi during Deepavali, all sorts of things, firecrackers will be there. They disturb that. So these are the various problems faced by the common moorhen, other wetland birds. Now, today we are going to talk about the conservation. How to protect this? How to protect these wetlands and the birds? So we are taking some steps. This is called conservation efforts. And we are going to study on education and awareness programs. Okay. So this is what I always appreciate this slide. If you are thinking of 1 year ahead, plant rice. If you are thinking of living for 10 years, rice plants like saplings. If you want to live for 100 years, educate the people, awareness programs. That's what I'm also doing an awareness program. Awareness on the common moorhen, awareness on the behavior of that, awareness on the threats, conservation problems. So all of you must remember that 1 year, 10 years, 100 years. So take up the awareness program, educate the people on the various aspects. That is the biggest conservation challenge. That is the good step for your conservation. If you want to protect. So don't go and tell that I am going just studying on the animal, studying on the animal. I am doing research, I have 100 paper publications and no. What is the actually practical conservation effort? What you did it. So sensitize the public or the students, the school children or the college students or the youth, or the public. Now, one important thing is this, how many of us know the legal protection to animals? It's very sad. Though we have number of legal protection to animals, rules and regulations are there, we ignore. So ignorance of the animal protection laws are not excuse for anybody. Now, it's a very sad, the animal protection laws are disregarded. The animal laws are largely neglected, not only animal laws, your wetland laws also, water laws also we just ignored. We are best lawmakers, at the same time, we are the very good in lawbreakers, lawmakers and lawbreakers. Okay. What I did is that in most of my programs, I used to threaten with the people on the wildlife acts, legal protection to animals, so that you'll be very cautious. So you will be afraid of these laws or the legal issues. Okay. And this one I always is that how many of us know that Constitution of India, especially in Constitution of India, there is one is that 51AJ section is there, 51AJ. All of you must remember. This is lifetime. This is a lifetime you have to remember this. 51AG required from its citizens as a fundamental duty it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including your forests, the lakes, ponds or the rivers, and wildlife. Not only that, and to have a compassion, that means love for all the living creatures. If you are remembering this 51AG, that means you are conserving the animals. You are protecting the wetlands. You are protecting nature. You are protecting your forest. You are protecting your wildlife. This what that's what. See, we ignored this 51AG. And in our education curriculum, in your curriculum, in school system, in college system, we are not included 51AG. This is very unfortunate. So hereafter, we must include some of the legal issues. Though we have the Wildlife Act in the some of the at the 8th standard or 9th or 10th, but this is a very, very important law. Everybody must know about the 51AG. Now the other act is the legal protection, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Under this Protection Act, all the animals are given protection to them. For information, all the wildlife for information, they have given protection under this Wildlife Act. You cannot possess a bird. You cannot possess a common moorhen. Suppose you just trap a common moorhen and you keep at home, you just, I'm rearing this or I'm just looking after this, I'm feeding. So somebody comes and that raids your house, you can be prosecuted. So this is the law says that. Even if you're keeping a parakeet, even a munia, black-headed munia, or maybe whatever it may be, scaly-breasted munia, all the birds, it's an offense. Okay, so it's all protected. So Wildlife Act rules also you must know. Now there are the wetland and management rules, 2008, conservation management rules. That means we have to protect all the wetlands, what I showed you, pond and lakes. There is the Environment Protection Act, EPA, 1986. And again, wetland management, 2008 rules already told you. Okay, under this conservation activities, in order to protect the wetlands and the wetland birds. And some of you might have visited the Karnai in Chennai. This is a marshland. This declared as a reserve forest by the Tamil Nadu Forest Department. So Tamil Nadu Forest Department maintained this protected area. So they not only protect the wetland, they also conserve the wetland birds. There are hundreds, thousands of birds you can find during the month season. Another thing is that already told you, restoration ecology. The purpose of restoration ecology, the plan is that in order to have an intentional alteration, we alterate the ecosystem, the pond or water wetland, to establish and appreciate biological, geological, and physical condition that existed before disturbance. Now one has to study. I would like to study, or somebody can join me in Palathuri if you are from the Palathuri area. After restoration, whether the vegetation is coming up, what about the fauna? What about the bird species? Whether bird species are attracted of the restoration, only water table is there, water is there. So we have to wait and see how long it will take for coming up the vegetation, coming up the snails or even microbes, microbacteria, whatever it may be, the has to come back, fishes, lower invertebrates, and lower vertebrates and higher vertebrates. And we have to see, wait and see. Now, here, when we talk about awareness program, not only sensitizing only the school children or only biology students, wildlife and ornithologists. That's why I told you this webinar participants belongs to different groups, different age group, different professionals. Like we must also sensitize professional engineers, apprentices, technicians, the decision makers, development planners, designers, architects, town planners, and health and legal and economists. We must also sensitize because they are the people involved in development programs. The policy decision makers are going to be like the ecological restoration, decision makers, political people, or an engineer, PWD engineer, or the water management engineer. So they'll be involved in that. They should always sensitize. They must also aware of the behavior of these birds, the fauna of the wetlands or the water birds, and also what are the problems they're facing, what will be the effects of this development program. So we have to train these professionals also on the environmental awareness. So why? Directly or indirectly, their work can have a considerable impact on the environment. So very important aspect. Okay. Now you can also you can start eco club in your school or in your college or in your town. You can start like nature clubs. You can start. You can also organize regularly lectures, seminars, rally, pamphlet, poster, display, environmental play games like seminars you can conduct. So when I'm working from 1980 to 2010, earlier period, maybe 1980-90, we had started a Peacock Nature Club. So in Mailadurai, in this Peacock Nature Club, not only college students, we have members from the school. We have school students are members. Not only school and college students, we also involve the general public. There may be business people. We are not bothered about the education background. Those who are interested in the environment or the nature, they become the members of the nature club. Not only we had members of the business people, industrialists, Rotarians, Lions, JC's club member, Leo club members we had in our nature club. So we used to organize rallies like this, and also we took the school children to the Pichavaram or the field trips, and we also played some of the games, nature games like food chain game. In that, now you can also organize like these programs. So if you look at the Coimbatore area, the school children, save Virugambakam, and Chennai also, we have the Virugambakam, all those places. If you have the plants nearby that, we have the Chipko moment, all of you know that. In Tamil, we say Katiko moment. You just Katiko the tree trunk, that is called Chipko moment. Chipko moment, Sundarabhagan has started that throughout India. So we have also planned. And in the campus, college campus or school campus, we have a placards like that. So we just put that, save the plants, save the environment, save the birds. Wherever we have the drinking water in the college campus, we have just put some of the things. So this is called educating the school children, college children, or the public, and also role of mass media. Very, very important. See, I also appreciate the media people, and they play a very good role in the conservation or in just sensitizing the people. So their customers, their viewers. So mass media, whether it is maybe the magazines, maybe dailies, Hindu or Indian Express, maybe the TV channels, all these things we can. And even also you have the app, we have the programs, All India Radio programs. So mass media also plays a very good role. So you can also conduct some organize program in the mass media. Okay, field trips very, very important. If you have a nature club, if you're an NGO, so you can also give importance. See, when you have a nature club, I took the school children of the 4th standard, 5th, 6th standard children from each school. We invited 2 students in the Mailadurai area, and we took for the Pichavaram wetland area, and also we took the seashore in the Parigipete, Portanovo in Tamil Nadu near Chidambaram, and see how the students very active, very, very bright. They come and they listen to that. This is what I say, the target group. You also study target. The school children are the best. From 6th to 7th, 8th, 9th. So +2, then college, they are not the target group for our program. So just try to choose which is the target group, and we also play in the beach, on the forest, ecosystem, or the food chain, food web, all those things, the field trips. We also took for vegetation studies, we took the Araval in Pondicherry area. Okay, now we also taken to the mangrove area, Muthukadu, Muthupet, Muthupet area. We also organized some under the Human Resource Development Program for the school teachers, HRD program on the problems of the wetlands. So we also conducted the seminar. We also conducted the essay writing company for school children, not only in Mailadurai area, in district level, We are conducting state level, we are conducting national level. Throughout India, by post, we send the information. Those days, cyclostyle, no computer. We have just centralized cyclostyle and send it to different schools, all central schools, all these public schools. They topics, they write the topics on the wildlife, and we just scrutinize them, assess that, and we give the prizes for this. We conduct the annual day of the Peacock Club. During that, we distribute certificates and the prizes to the winner. And the mass media, I told you, just whatever things, you just send it to your media, they will publish it. So this is one of the best awareness strategy, awareness program. Now, this is what I want to emphasize, that you think globally. You go to the net web, what are the problems faced by in different countries, and act locally. You act in your area. Go to one pond, choose only one wetland, one pond, choose only one bird. Study there in detail. That is a very good act locally. Take some steps. Thank the Biodiversity Conservation Foundation of India.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.